Hello, and thank you for joining me, Marian Lodato, for the transformative practice of yoga. To prepare for class, please make sure that you're wearing warm layers and that you have water at hand and all of your supplies. For me, that's 2 blocks, a blanket, and a pillow or a bolster. And please remember that the core principle of yoga is ahimsa. Ahimsa means that this is a non-violent activity towards yourself in thoughts or in actions or movements. So as you're moving through the postures, please deeply regard yourself and your sensations and modify the poses if they feel uncomfortable or painful. Let's get started. Namaste. Let's set up our first pose for pranayama, our breathing practice. I'm going to take my 2 blocks, and remembering that this is level 1, the lowest, level 2, and level 3, the highest setting. I'm going to set up the first block at the very back of my mat at level 2, and in front of it, about 8 inches, level 1. And then I'm going to place my bolster or pillow across these blocks. And for some, I'm going to encourage rolling up the blanket and placing that to the side to place under the head. So to sit in this reclined chest opener, my feet can be separated hip width apart with my knees falling together, or my knees and legs can just become straight, and I'm sitting up right against the edge of this bolster, and I'm leaning back so that the first block is under my scapula and the second block under my head. Now, if that's too far back to lean, then this is where the blanket can come in handy, and I'm placing it behind my head. My legs can stay straight or knees bent, and there should be quite a chest stretch and opener. Let the arms rest to the side of the body, the chin slightly tucked towards the chest, and the hands are palm up. And just take a moment to arrive in this position and gently relax. Let your awareness just sweep through the body, and take a few just generous breaths to gather your awareness around yourself here. Encourage your body to relax, even though there might be quite a bit of sensation. To increase the stretch through the pectoralis and through the clavicles and the chest, you might start to slide the hands away from the body. Make sure that the forearms are heavy to the ground and move them gently back behind you to open the chest and the shoulders. Relaxing into the support, connecting your awareness to the breath. So I want to take 3 generous cleansing breaths here. So after your first exhale, I want you to inhale through the sinus and fill the abdomen like a balloon on that inhale. Hold the breath at the top of that tension. Hold it in, and then exhale through the nose or mouth, letting the belly fall back towards the spine. Exhale completely and begin again. Inhaling. Fill the belly like a balloon. Hold that breath. Hold that tension at the top of the inhale, and then let it go. Exhaling through the nose or mouth. Please take 2 more rounds in your own breath rhythm at home. after your last cleansing breath, just let the breath flow naturally. To come out of this pose, the elbows slide back in towards the rib cage, and I'm just using one elbow to prop myself up, and I'm going to remove the support from under the body. Please come back onto your back, the soles of the feet to the floor. Hands can rest on the belly, or the hands can come into I surrender, so it's like a goalpost position. Elbows out from the shoulder and palms open to the sky. From here, soles of the feet are wide apart, so they're almost mat distance apart, and I'm rocking them to the right, holding to breathe, slow, deep breaths to the belly, back through center, and rock the knees to the opposite side. Let the breath be slow and deep to the belly. And gently rock the knees back through the skyline and to the other side. This time we'll use our breath in relationship to the movement. So the inhale, knees come to the sky. Exhaling to one side. Inhale, back to sky. And exhale, knees drop to the opposite side. One more pass, inhaling, center. Exhale, dropping. Inhale, center. And exhale, drop, opposite side. Gently coming back to center. To bring the arms alongside, please don't lift the arms. Instead, drag the elbows in towards the rib cage, releasing the shoulders, and draw the knees to chest. Knees to chest, Apanasana, and I'm just massaging the spine to the left and to the right. Letting the breath be slow, steady, and deep. In through the nose, filling the belly on the inhales. And exhaling gently through the nose or mouth. Coming into a core strengthening exercise. I'm going to come to rest on my spine, feet to the floor. Good. Gaze is to the sky. I want to become aware of the cervical spine of the neck is kind of curved away from the floor, and then the mid back is flat to the ground, and then there should be a slight lumbar curve in the low back. Please to press down through the lumbar spine and glue the low back to the floor and lift the right foot maybe an inch or two off the ground. Feel your core fire up. Keep the low back glued down and breathe. One more inhale. And as you exhale, set down the right foot and release the spine. And you might like to tick-tock the knees to the left and to the right between sets. We'll set up for the left side, so spine is neutral at the floor. Press the low back down, glue the low back to the ground, and now lift left foot a few inches off the floor. Hold to breathe, feel the tension in the core, feel the core fire up, but keep the breath slow and steady. One more inhale here, and left foot to the floor, exhale, and again soften the spine and let the knees rock to the left and to the right. We're going to do one more set. I'm not going to pause between the left and the right side. And again, you can pause this video at any point and add more sets to build more strength. Coming into a neutral spine, spine is flat to the ground. Press the low back down to the ground and keep it glued down. Lifting the right foot off the floor a few inches. Feel the tension in the core and breathe. One more inhale, right heel is high. Exhale, release. Right foot to the ground. Keep the back glued down, and now inhale, left foot up. Hold to breathe. Several breaths. Try to keep the face relaxed. Try to keep the jaw towards the chest, letting the neck be neutral. One more inhale, left heel is high, and exhale, both feet to the ground. Release the low back and massage the spine. And coming to roll onto one side for rising to a seat. Please roll all the way to one side. Just pause for a moment. It helps your blood pressure regulate. And then using a hand, let yourself press yourself into a seat. Coming into a comfortable seated series. I'm starting with myself on a blanket. I have my nice cozy socks on, nice warm layers, and I'm in my Sukhasana, simple cross-legged position. I'm going to give you my profile. So as I sit, you might want to, if it is uncomfortable to sit in Sukhasana, you can place a block or a bolster under the knees to support the weight of the legs. Coming centered, lengthen through the spine, and bring the hands to prayer, thumbs at the sternum. The gaze falls to the fingertips. I'm just taking a few breaths here to let your awareness gather around yourself. It's always a good time to set an intention or make a personal commitment to yourself for your practice. One more breath here. As you're ready, the hands can fall to the knees. And I'm coming into my Mula grind. So I'm just kind of rocking around the hips. My whole spine can get into this, by the way. Letting it massage through the hips, one side to the other. This is why I like to do this on something soft. Letting the breath be slow and deep. And making sure that you turn that dial. So one direction and then the opposite direction. Letting yourself take a few moments just to notice how that feels. Gently coming back to center. Also, please gaze and see which of your legs is in front here. So it's either your left or the right leg. Either one is fine, but we'll do this series with the opposite leg in front next. So I'm going to take one leg to the side, and I'm really flexing through that foot. So I really want the toes moving back towards the heart. I'm still sitting up nice and straight, and I'm engaging that quadricep on that leg. Nice, strong engagement and nice action through that leg. Sitting up straight as our inhale, and exhale, hands to the dirt to the side. Seated upward salute. Inhale, palms turn up, reach up, look up, and exhale, hands through the heart line. Just like that again. Inhale, sweep it out, opening the shoulders and chest, reach up, look up, prayer, hands to the heart. And one more, inhale. Big breath in, and exhale, prayer, hands to the heart. Left leg or this extended leg still strongly engaged. Last time we'll inhale, sweep it out and up. And this time I'm teeing the arms out, sitting up nice and tall, reaching out through the full length of my arms to the left and to the right. Really squeezing each bone with its closest muscle, making sure the neck is soft, the shoulders are not hunching, and I'm lifting through the core. Hold to breathe. Strengthen and breathe. As you're ready, palms turn up. Inhale, look up, reach up. And then walking out through that extended leg. Hand can rest to the thigh or to the calf or towards the foot, depending on your flexibility. And I'm reaching over the ear, bringing that opposite hand towards the opposite toe. I like to bring the gaze towards the floor. It releases the neck. And I'm just breathing, big pose, lots of sensation here. So just holding and breathing a few more rounds. Instead of using the spine to sit up, reach up to the sky with that floating arm. That should sit you right up. And place that hand right at its hip, very close, either on the blanket or on the mat. Coming to sweep onto that calf, right? And reach that opposite arm over the ear. Strong arm for support. Opening the chest and shoulders, building strength, deepening the breath. One more breath here. And then bringing that floating arm back to the heart. That helps to organize the shoulder. Gaze falls down, and I'm sitting down on my hips. I'm going to straddle it, so I'm kickstanding. My hands just back behind me, and both feet are out. I'm going to circle out those ankles. Good, and I'm preparing for the opposite side. So both hands under the knees, drawing the soles of the feet towards the midline, and now the opposite leg in front. Sukhasana, simple cross-legged position. Again, if you want support under the knees, that's fine. Just remember to take it out as we start moving in the pose. Sitting up nice and tall, elongate the spine, that beautiful strand of luminescent pearls. Lift and separate each one, and bringing the hands to prayer at the heart center, the gaze to the fingertips. 3 breaths in through the nose, fill the belly, and out through the nose or mouth. Big generous breaths here, in and out. The biggest breath now, last time, inhale. And a generous exhale. Preparing for the series on the opposite side, so the opposite leg kicking out. Remember to keep that thigh engaged, flexing the toes back towards the heart, keeping the spine erect, nice long. Inhale to lengthen through that central channel, and exhale, bring the hands to the dirt. Seated upward salute. Inhale, reach out to rise, look up, reach up. Prayer hands, exhaling through the heart line. That extended leg is still working the whole time. Inhale, reaching out and up. Exhale, hands through the heart. One more, big sweep. Seated upward salute. Out, up, look up, reach up. Prayer hands through the heart line. Exhaling. Here we come. Inhale, sweeping it out and up. And tee the arms out. Exhale. I'm holding here, breathing. Soften the jaw. Try to keep the neck loose. Nice, long, strong arms. Strong, extended leg. And deep, really generous, sweet breaths. One more breath here. And when you're ready, the palms turn up. Inhale, reach up. This time we'll bow over that extended leg. Its same side hand can support on the thigh or the calf or to the foot. And I'm reaching that opposite hand over towards the toes. We can relax that quadricep now. We're just in a deep stretch through the side body, through the shoulder, letting the neck release. Gaze to the knee. One more breath. Reach up high, sit up straight, and place that floating hand at its hip, very close by, to come onto that calf, reaching the opposite hand all the way away, opening the opposite side of the body. Strong hand for support, strong arm, strong breaths. Just finding any subtle motions here that help to open the chest and shoulder of the arm that's reaching towards the sky. Bringing the hands to the heart so the gaze and the shoulder come down. And I'm sitting down, bringing my knees together so that I can come to table facing the front side of the mat. Table pose, knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders. The inhale, arch the spine, cow. And the exhale, round the spine, cat. Inhaling, arch the spine. Really try to move each of the vertebrae in your awareness as well as the movement. Exhale to round the spine, cat. One more pass, really kind of deeply regarding your central channel, your spine. Really some gratitude for all of the movements and articulations it has. Coming back to a neutral spine. Coming into full plank, so I'm taking my toes back, strong legs, strong arms, and holding the plank pose. Gaze can be between the thumbs. Nice long arms, press through the heels, and draw the navel in towards the spine. I often say, imagine like you're above an alligator, right? And the alligator is trying to get you, so you pull all of your front side of the body to the back, but there's a board on your back that makes it so you can't lift the hips. So there's that much energy pulling the navel into the spine. And when you're ready, knees to the floor. Inhale, arch the spine, cow, and exhale, round the spine, cat. And we'll come into a child's pose. Knees wide apart, great toes touching back behind you, hips towards the heels, and the arms reaching forward. Staying in child's pose for 5 more slow, really generous breaths. Opening the hips, lengthening the spine, and releasing the upper body. To come out of child's pose, my hands press down into the ground as I lift the hips. I draw the knees closer together, hip width apart, and I always kind of like to circle out the hips after a deep hold in my child's pose. One more generous breath here, preparing for the next series. I'm coming into a Warrior One standing series. For this series, I recommend using a block, or if you'd prefer, you can use hand weights for this series. Today I will demonstrate with the block. Either way, weights can be in the hands or the block. I'm going to start at the back edge of my mat. My feet are hip width distance apart. And I'm going to turn my left toes out about 45 degrees from center and ground in through that back heel. I'm going to take a generous step forward with my right foot, aiming for the center of the mat, and come into the lunge, bending my right knee just directly above its ankle. So not in front of or behind, right on top. The block held at level 1 will be pressed between 2 palms and extended forward from the shoulders. The gaze is to the block. I'm just going to pause here for a minute to show you this pose from the front. So my left toes touching the left edge of the mat, a generous full step into the middle of the mat, so my feet are still hip width distance apart, bending into that front knee right over its ankle. Using that core engagement, base of the rib to the pubic bone, lifting through the heart so the core is engaged, and then my hands coming forward from the shoulders, pressing into the block, building arm strength. Virabhadrasana 1. Holding to breathe, pressing the hands firmly into the block, committing to the lunge, and pressing down through that back left heel. Inhale through the nose to fill the belly, and exhale through the nose or mouth. 2 more breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. 1 more breath here, inhale and exhale. Please keep the breath moving, slow and deep. On your next inhale, straighten that front right leg and reach the block high above your head. That's the inhale. And exhale back into the lunge, bringing the block through the heart center and forward. Again, inhaling, reach up, straighten the leg, press into the block. Exhale, hands through the heart line and reach the block forward. 1 more, big inhale and big exhale. This time as we inhale, straighten that right leg, reach up with the block, and holding the block in one hand or the other, transfer it to behind the hips. Taking a half bow forward, so nice long spine, and I'm reaching the block up and back as if I had a relay runner behind me coming to grab the block or the weights, right? The weights can be in your hands. Both legs are straight, toes facing forward, deep breaths. 1 more slow, deep breath here. And then as you're ready, gently bend into that front knee. Block coming forward, level with the shoulders. As you're ready, we'll inhale, straighten that front leg, reach to the sky, big stretch. And exhale, prayer hands to the heart with the block and bring the feet together. I'm going to pause. I'm going to face the mirror or face the camera and show you an interim stretch here. So I'm going to place down my block. I'm going to take my feet wider than the edges of the mat. Toes are out, heels are in. High yogic squat, coming into the knees bent, knees over the ankles. The inhale lengthens the spine in the center, and the exhale, drop right shoulder to look left. Inhale back through center, dropping the opposite shoulder, looking to the opposite side. Let's do 1 more pass. Big inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. And exhale, twist. Inhale, coming back to center, star pose, all 10 toes facing forward, reaching out, stretching through the ribs, stretching through the shoulders, twinkle the fingers. And then as you're ready, prayer hands coming back to the heart line. And we'll take that Warrior 1 series on the opposite side. Coming to the center of my mat. I'm going to take my right toes this time to the edge of the mat. So I know that my right foot is to the right. Centering my left foot at the front center of the mat, nice deep lunge. I want to make sure my hips are squared forward the best I can. Left knee is above its ankle, right, and the block coming forward. Press down through the back heel, squeeze into the block. 3 generous breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Slow, deep breaths. 2 more. Inhale. Use every muscle you have. Exhale. Inhale here. Building strength, holding the pose. And exhale. With your next inhale, straighten the left leg, reach to the sky, big stretch. And exhale, hands through the midline, bending into that left knee, bring the block forward. Again, inhale, reach up, straighten the leg. Exhale, back to the lunge. One more, guys. Inhale, straighten the leg, reach high. Exhale, prayer hands through the midline, back into the lunge. This time we'll inhale, sweep the hands up, straighten the leg, transfer the block to behind the hips. Very difficult for the triceps. And I'm reaching the block back, bowing the chest forward. Both legs straight, neck is in line with the spine, chin is just a little bit towards the chest. And I'm really trying to offer that block back for 3, 2, 1, release, softening that front knee. Warrior 1, block forward. Inhale, straighten that front leg, reach up. Prayer hands through the heart line. And we'll step the feet to the front edge of the mat, placing the block to the side. To come out of this series, I like a gentle twist, making a nice fist out of the hands, tapping the hips, softening the spine. Good work. You can repeat that series as many times as you like to build good strength in the arms, the legs, and the core. Coming to center. Coming into our Vrikasana, tree pose. Hands can come to prayer, and I start with my feet hip width apart. Please know that you can use this wall or anything beside you to help to build your balance before you have it all the way internalized. I'm going to start with bringing my weight to my right foot, grounding down, heavy through that leg, and maybe kickstand the left heel onto that ankle. If you'd like to come into the full balance, that left foot can come onto the calf or to the thigh, just not onto the knee, please. Hands can come to the support of the wall or a chair, or hands can stay at prayer. Breathe. To add challenge to the balance, you might bring the hands all the way above the head and let the branches of the tree sway. Fix the gaze at one point. Steady the breath. Subtle ligaments and muscles in the joints are moving and strengthening, committing to the pose. And when you're ready, we'll come out of this side, prayer hands returning to the heart, coming out of the balance, and give yourself a hip squeeze. So front thumb on front of the hip, hands wrapping around to the sit bones, and circle the barrel. Nice squeeze on the hip joints, please. Really massage into the hips after those standing balances. It's so kind, so helpful, and so good for the body. One more breath, turning that dial back and forth, massaging through the hips. Coming to center, Vrikasana, tree pose, opposite side, hands start to prayer. You can also start with one hand to the wall. Now the left leg is your new center, kickstanding the right heel, or bringing the foot all the way off the ground. Wall for support, connect for the breath. Hands can stay at prayer, or you can challenge your balance by bringing the hands overhead and just finding some subtle sway in the branches of your tree. Letting the breath be slow and generous. And coming back to center, prayer hands. Stepping out of the pose. And gently squeeze and massage through the hips. Circle that barrel. Give a good squeeze onto the hip joint itself. Onto the joint. This last round I'm going to show you is adding even more challenge to the balance by moving that lifted leg. Setting up for Vrksasana tree pose. Letting that weight anchor down through. For me, it's my right leg. I think for you, it might look like the left. Sorry about that. Kickstanding the left and bringing the foot to the shin. Now, we already demonstrated that first challenge is just moving the arms. But if you'd like to add more of a challenge, fix the gaze and see if you can take it into a floating star. And one more breath, building strength, building balance. Prayer hands coming back to the heart, both feet grounded to the ground. And again, just circling the barrel. This is also another opportunity for just a twist. So either the barrel or a gentle twist with a good fist tap on the hips. Very kind after this series. Let's take that left side. Preparing for the pose. Connect to your breath. Remember that core engagement. Stepping into the left foot. Bringing that right foot to the position that you'd like to work in, either toes to the ground or sole of the foot to the shin. Option for hands to come to the sky. If you're adding on to the challenge here, then it's taking a full star so that right foot kicks out above the ground, reaching the arms out, finding as much motion as you can. Breathe. And coming out of the pose. Good work. Feet together. Either circle the barrel or twist and tap. Setting up for a straddle fold series. I always like to have my support ready, and here are my 2 blocks, but this could be a chair or a couch, or even a counter in front of you, or a desk. I start with my hands on my hips, and I'm taking my feet out to a straddle stance. Toes in line with the heels, and heels approximately as wide as my wrists if I reach to the side, but at a comfortable distance is a more important, setting up for my straddle fold. Good. Making sure that you feel solid, there's no pain in the knees, and then we'll find that yogic spine lengthening and separating each luminous pearl, and exhaling, bring the hands to the side. Straddle upward salute, so the inhale reaches out, palms up, look up, inhaling, and exhale, prayer hands to the heart line. Just like that, big stretch, inhale, open the chest, reach up, look up, and prayer hands through the midline. Last one, friends, here we come. Inhale, out and up. And then as I bring my hands through the prayer line, I can soften my knees here to protect the back. I might even walk my hands down my thighs. I'm aiming my hands to the blocks. And once I arrive in my straddle fold, I want the upper body to release. Head is heavy, neck is heavy, breath is deep. Giving yourself 3 breaths just to arrive right here. And then I'm going to walk. My hands can stay to the center, but I'm going to bend one knee and drop my hip back towards that heel, opening the medial hamstring on the opposite leg. So my one knee bends, I shift my weight towards that heel, and then back through center, and then the opposite knee bends, And I'm gonna walk and rock left and right here a few rounds. So if I was really in this pose and not talking to you, my upper body would be draped, my neck released, my hands for the support, and I'm just walking back and forth, left to right. Coming to center, arms are long. Good, and to come out of this, I'm just gonna come down to my table pose. Knees, right, forearms can come to the blocks. Knees under the hips, forearms under the blocks. Cow as you inhale, and cat as you exhale. One again, inhale cow, and exhale cat. Good, neutral spine table. And then I'm gonna prepare for my final pose. Coming to a cool down series. I'm still gonna be on my blanket, and I'm gonna bring a block in case I want to use it for this. I wanna make sure that my blanket is long enough so that as I rest onto my back with my knees bent, that my head and my whole body are on the blanket. Doesn't matter if my feet are on. I'm gonna roll down the spine, letting the head rest on the floor, and take a moment to get comfortable. I'm gonna start this series with a strengthening pose, and then I'm gonna come into the supportive pose with the block. Good, Setu Bandhasana, supine bridge pose. So my arms are long to the floor, fingers extended towards my heels and palms flat to the ground. The gaze is straight up to the sky. Please do not turn the neck in this posture, just to keep your neck safe and in a neutral position. I'm gonna press down into my feet and lift my hips, maybe just a little bit, maybe a little bit more. Pressing down and lift the hips, press down and lift the hips. And that's sort of the mantra for this pose. We'll keep pressing and lifting and breathing through the nose to the belly. If you'd like to add a little bit deeper stretch through the chest, then the elbows can press down, palms of the hands facing the side of the body, fingertips up, and I'm just gonna press into my elbows and really get the chest open here. Arms can rest back to the ground. Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. One more breath. Good, and if you can, rise high onto your tippy toes. Unroll the shoulders from behind. And slowly, slowly, please release the spine back towards the ground. Try to release it one vertebra at a time, nice and slow. Keep the breath rolling until the hips settle into the ground, and gently let the knees rock to the left and to the right. Bridge pose is so good for building strength through the legs, through the glutes, as well as through the back and opening the chest. To come into a reclined pose with the block for support in Setu Bandhasana in bridge, I make sure that I can hold my block in my hand. I'm still set up for the pose. Knees are bent, feet are hip width apart, heels in towards the sit bones. I press into my feet to lift my hips, and then I place the block under my bottom, under the sacrum, not under the spine, under the bottom. It can be on level 1 or level 2. Making those subtle adjustments, letting the hips be lifted, and reclining the weight onto the block. You can also do this with a bolster or something else that feels more supportive if that's helpful. 6 rounds of slow, really generous breaths here. Breathing in through the nose, fill the belly. And exhale through the nose or mouth. This is a wonderful pose before bed, or if it's been a very stressful day, helps the system unwind. When you're ready to come out of the support, I press my feet back down into the ground to lift the hips up off the block. I bring the hand to grab the block and move it to the side. Don't use your neck, and gently roll the spine one vertebra at a time back to the floor. When the hips hit down, let the knees rock left and right, and you may open the shoulders, letting the arms rest to the side. Preparing for a figure 4 pose. To come into figure 4, I draw my elbows into my rib cage without lifting my arms off the ground. I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left knee. Maybe I just leave that left foot straight on the floor. That's enough stretch. If you are more flexible and need more, maybe your hands interlace to hold that left thigh. And if you have more flexibility, maybe it's that left calf. The breath is slow and generous here. Really deeply regarding the sensations. Figure 4. Wanting to keep the spine neutral, the head is heavy, spine is supported, and release every muscle that's not required to fire in this pose. When you're ready, we'll release that side, left foot to the floor, uncross the right ankle, and we'll set up for the opposite side. Left ankle crossing over the right knee, option to leave right foot to the floor, or deepen the stretch by bringing the hands around that right thigh, or deepening further still, hands around that right calf. Deep, generous breaths in through the nose and out through the nose or mouth. Keep the breath rolling, soften the brow, soften the jaw, soften whatever muscles you can. And as you're ready, gently release. Soles of the feet returning to the floor. And we'll set up for our final Shavasana. Shavasana can be done with a bolster under the legs or not. And just resting flat to the spine. Letting the breath be slow and generous. Making any subtle adjustments to help your body really find a comfortable place to settle. Traditionally, the palms turn up, but you may feel more comfortable bringing the palms to the core. Letting the eyes close. And inviting the body to start to let go. We want to let go of the bones with the muscles. We want to just See if we can let the bones go to drop into the dirt. The bones of the face, the bones of the shoulders and the neck, arms to the fingers, the whole rib cage and spine, the hips, all the way down through the legs, to the heels, to the toes, just letting the muscles soften and let go. And we offer the body a few moments of quiet at the end of practice so that it can deeply repair. It's building new neural networks to communicate with more of your body, to build muscle, and the lymph is stimulated to remove the toxins released through your practice. Please rest and deeply repair. Letting the breath be the first thing to move as you prepare the body to come back to the mainland. Deep, generous breaths, filling the sails of your lungs, guiding you back to the mainland from your practice. Letting the breath extend all the way out through the fingers and toes, gently finding some stretches that feel good and yummy. Allowing the knees to bend and rocking the spine left and right, and coming to rest on one side. Using the support of the hand to press yourself into a seated pose. And we can close our practice here together. Thank you for your hard and intentional work. Thank you for your kindness towards your body and to your breath and to your mind. Namaste.